अस्सलाम वालेकुम गाइस, वेलकम। ओके, अच्छा गाइस, ये पीछे जो लेक्चर आपको नज़र आ रहा है ये आपका नहीं है, ठीक है। पहले से बता दूं क्योंकि बेसिकली यही मेरी बेस्ट जगह है लाइटिंग वगैरह, जहाँ पर मैं अच्छी वीडियो बना लेता हूँ। बेसिकली ये एक एएस केमिस्ट्री का एक लेक्चर है जो मैं बना रहा था, तो बट ये थोड़े से ये क्वेश्चंस आ गए थे मेरे पास। काफ़ी कॉमनली फ्रीक्वेंटली एक ही क्वेश्चन बार बार काफ़ी लोगों ने पूछा है, तो मैंने सोचा कि इस पर एक वीडियो लेक्चर बना दूं, ठीक है। तो आप लोगों के लिए ओके गाइस, सो दिस वीडियो इज़ बेसिकली फॉर ऑल दो स्टूडेंट्स who are in first year MBBS in this 2021, okay, especially from Dow Medical College, okay, because my juniors of Dow Medical College have sent me all these questions. So now let's address them one by one. All right, so the first question was the asking for, okay, so hello, okay, I'm gonna keep the names anonymous, so don't worry, I won't reveal your names. Okay, so hello Shah Fahad, I'm your junior from certain college and have started at Dow. Okay, so congratulations on getting in. I wanted your advice. Do you think it's worth it to make physical notes in med school, or just reading the books after class and saving the PDF slides the teachers use and doing MCQs should be enough for us? All right, so basically this is a very frequently asked question from many of you, so please listen very carefully. पहली बात तो ये है कि देखें, is it worth to make physical notes? Yes, definitely it is worth making physical notes. Okay, it might not be worth it making right now, but they are worth it in the long run, okay? Because when you'll be preparing for your annual exam, so the notes that you make right now from the big books, they'll be helpful for you guys for revision of the annuals, okay? And abhi ke liye what you can do is you definitely need to make physical notes. Otherwise, if you do not want to make physical notes, and physical notes are basically for those who start out from day one, okay, who start out early, so it becomes a bit easier for them to manage the notes and write down the notes within the given amount of time, okay. Secondly, you asked that is it sufficient or just reading the books are sufficient after the class? Okay, so let me tell you something. Just reading the book and going through the book is not sufficient, okay. Just clarify that. If you're reading the book, you have to underline all the important facts, make concepts, etc. okay, and the stuff that you underline, you have while making notes, what do? The stuff that you think is important, you just extract it and write it on a notebook, right? So that's exactly the same stuff that you have to follow. Even if you're not making notes, while you are reading, you have to underline the important stuff. That's a bit speedy, but the downfall of that method is that you might not be able to retain that stuff for a long period of time. You might need to revise it again and again and again and again, all right, which certainly sometimes is not possible when you are preparing for your annuals. Then you've asked that saving PDF slides the teachers use and doing MCQs should be enough for us. Well, saving PDF files, yes, of course you need to save them. Actually, someone from your class might be compiling them, so you can refer to those. But from those slides, the most important portion are the lecture objectives. Okay, the most important portion of those slides is the lecture objectives. Okay, make sure to do those lecture objectives from the books, from the textbooks basically. So I hope this. And doing MCQs, well, yes, of course you need to do the MCQs. It would be sufficient after. So basically the final answer to this question was, okay, if you are making physical notes, yes, of course they're worth it, okay, because they'll help you retain stuff easily for a longer period of time. And if you keep them, you'll have to keep them for your entire life basically, okay. So that even if in your later years or later modules you need to revise something, you could just pull out those notes and just look at them and try organizing them, okay. Do not write half the notes here in anatomy's journal and half the other half in physiology's journal. No, keep a separate journal for each text. And if you're not making notes, then of course make sure to underline stuff and learn them. And if you're following lecture slides, and by the way guys, lecture slides do not have everything. You must have gotten an idea of that, of course, because it's literally impossible to teach everything in that 1 hour or 1.5 hour class. So all the undergraduate studies, what you'll have to do is you'll have to rely on your own self-study. The stuff that you are taught during school, that's just an instruction from your instructor, from your teacher, and the rest of it is up to you. You have to read the books, okay, to cover up, and especially you need to read the lecture objectives. Now guys, after this question, let's move on to the next question. Okay, Past papers. Okay, many of you have asked how are we gonna get the past papers, or if you have to past papers, please send us the PDF. Okay guys, so basically past papers, first of all, Dow doesn't release its past papers. Okay, so you won't get official past papers from anywhere, but what our seniors have done for us, our humble seniors, actually we are your seniors, so basically me and my batchmates and my own seniors as well, of course, all the other seniors, my seniors, and all of us, what we have actually done is we've recreated the past papers for you guys, so you guys can refer to those past papers, and definitely some senior would send the link to those past papers onto your WhatsApp groups or your Facebook groups. Okay, so don't worry about that, you will get them. The first thing is just try finishing off the content, because the content is very extensive. Okay, don't worry about the past papers, you'll definitely get them, and of course the past papers are going to be the most important portion of your preparation for your module or for your annuals. Okay, so don't worry. Now CBL, some of you have asked what is CBL. CBL basically stands for case based learning. Case based learning, case means there is going to be a clinical case presented to you in a paragraph, and the knowledge that you have gained, the theoretical knowledge, you'll just have to apply on it, and you have to diagnose the disease or diagnose the condition or anything like that. Okay, so it's basically a scenario based question. If you are from A levels, of course, then you might have an idea of what sort of question this might be. Okay, A levels biology usually does like somewhat does test CBL stuff. Then coming to clinicals, some of you have asked what are clinicals. So basically clinicals are actually those portions of the book which has the diseases, the clinical portions that you need to deal with. Okay, then comes BD Chaurasia versus KLM and Grays. Okay, a question that one of you has asked is that the teachers are not recommending BD Chaurasia, they are either recommending KLM or Grays for foundation module. So what do you say? What should we follow? So basically guys, remember, okay, now please be very careful while listening to this answer that I'm gonna give you right now. KLM and Grays, they are perfect, excellent books, you have to follow them, but in the long run. Okay, for now, for the foundation module, according to my own experience and according to the experience of my seniors and many of my fellows, BD Chaurasia is sufficient for your foundation module, just for your foundation module, not for the other modules. Okay, for the other modules you'll have to shift to either KLM or Grays. So what I would advise is that you just stick to BD Chaurasia. And by the way, BD Chaurasia also has two types of books. It has a handbook and volumes. Guys, do not use the volumes for the foundation, because the volumes are extensive one. They are upper limb, lower limb, etc., thorax and abdomen and all of that stuff. You don't need those right now in your foundation module. For the foundation module, you only need the handbook of general anatomy by BD Chaurasia. Okay, 100 rupees की मिलती है मेरे ख्याल से. And then after you do the BD Chaurasia say you don't need to do the clinicals, I guess, because the clinicals are very well written in KLM or Grays. So the topic that you read through in BD Chaurasia, first of all you need to do the entire BD Chaurasia stuff. Okay, except for the last chapter, I think the genetics. I refer to the chapters in my lecture outline videos on foundation module, but in KLM or in BD Chaurasia don't need to do the clinicals. Okay, the clinicals can be done from KLM or Grays for your foundation module, because the clinicals are usually 1 or 2 pages, okay, for each section. So like they are not much, so you can refer to KLM or Grays with BD Chaurasia's handbook. Okay, like a mixture of both of them for your foundation module. But if you are only relying on KLM or Grays, then also you will obviously be able to clear the subject, you will obviously be able to get good score, but the thing is you'll have to manage your time smartly then. Okay, because KLM and Grays will have, of course, a lot more content than BD Chaurasia. And BD Chaurasia, by the way, it is a short handbook, but this doesn't mean that it is